I think we're live, kids. We are live.
Live kids.
Oh.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. I'm trying to figure out. Oh, live video started. There it goes. It's working, I think.
Now it's live?
I don't know. I haven't done this.
We're starting this like
It's,
normal every Facebook Live. I see like, are we on?
Yep.
Are we here?
Should we have
Marco,
testing?
testing.
We're live. Nobody's joined yet. Nobody likes us.
No.
Well, you know what? That's fine. We did it.
It's fine. We showed up. We did it.
Yeah.
That's right.
No, they will come. When
Who's
we're
here?
around, they will come.
Hello.
First we got a Kim. We got more people.
Yay!
Yay!
Do you like us?
They like us. They really like us. Aw, puppy who? Oh, he called us humans. Little puppy. Or Josh. And Cornhole Sisters are on. Hi, Cornhole. We only talked bad about Omaha once this morning.
We did?
We did. I don't recall. I can't remember.
That's for yourself.
Yay, we got people's. We're up to 8. I'm going to give people a few more minutes.
Absolutely.
A few seconds delay.
Yay, we've got City Fountain Sisters, we've got Soil Sisters.
It's like a kiss from a rose. Now the roses are blue. Life is true.
Don't scroll.
There's Jace.
We got Colorado.
Aww.
Oh yeah, we can check on her.
Ursula's here.
I couldn't figure out how to do it because my phone wasn't.
Hi, Ursula. Saga from. It's not, I think that's her.
Give that pig a squeeze.
Jace.
Hi, Jay.
Hi, James.
It was good to see you last night.
It was.
Up to 15.
Anybody say anything?
Just
A lot of
general
hello.
insults
Hi.
and derogatory slurs.
That's fair.
Everything we come to
We'll go
expect
with
from our
anything we're gonna
followers.
from our esteemed community.
Right. Ooh, gay bitch milkshake. I like that for a sister name. Thought we had the hook on the food names.
It's our shtick.
Nah, they can stay. Alright. We'll give people a couple more minutes and then we'll jump in.
Introduce yourselves is what they.
Oh, is that what's
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that might be.
You guys, we'll do that. Go around the room.
I think we should start with the prioress.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, ladies first.
Hi everybody, I am Novice Sister Souffle. As of last week, I am the current prioress for our house. We use prioress as instead of
Abbess.
I know we had a few questions on that, but yeah, so I am the prioress / president of the club. Next.
Hi, Novice Sister Anita Biscotti here. And I hang out, and I'm one of the revelry keepers, aka for us here. That means that we help with activity planning and outreach.
Hello, Novice Sister Helda Magno. I am the current social media chair and the new UNPC delegate.
Hello, I'm Novice Sister Lucy Tart, and I am one of the keepers of the sea, which means that I handle our novices. And I would also then like to extend a warm welcome. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, postulant sister. Oh.
This is her first time painting.
First time. Oh, okay.
Yay! And it fits into the name.
Constant struggle. I wish that was an act. Hi, I'm Sister Dia Niceass. And as of last week, I am the co-prioress, and I am also the co-keeper of Revelry and co-keeper of the seed. I co a lot. Yeah. And
Hi, I am Novice Guard Randy Tart. I am the Priory's keeper of the coffers.
I am Novice Guard Sir Lamy. I am keeper of the quill.
I'm Novice Sister Jewel B. Starry.
I'm Novice Sister Felony Assault. I'm the parliamentarian.
I am Novice Sister Lamiana Davenport.
I am Novice Guard Garrison.
And then joining us in spirit is Novice Sister Ada Buffet. A lot of you know that old bitch, and we love her dearly, but she's literally about 2 blocks away from us, but she's not here. So we dedicate this to her. Hopefully she pops online. She helped get this group started with the original members. Has been a force ever since, so we're wishing her the best of luck, and we will see her soon.
We will see her soon.
13 total, is that right?
Yeah.
yeah, so
Ran out of fingers.
Majora.
Yeah, Majora.
Oh, we also have
Majora.
Sister Majora T Whips.
Yeah.
They were not able to attend today either, but they're fantastic. I think that's everybody. I always miss people, and I do apologize
No, that's
to all of you.
That's all right. We're at 13.
We're a baker's dozen.
Yep.
And boy, do we like baked goods.
Can't you tell?
Be like, and boy, do we like dozens.
Boy, do we like bakers. She said, boy, do we like getting baked.
Unofficially.
Oh, Lord.
We're in Iowa. We don't actually like getting.
Only when we're out of state.
Yeah.
Confirmed or deny. Let's get baked. Leia, you be nice.
Somebody did ask
I was
the
nice.
pancake question,
There's a way
so I feel like we should.
Oh, what's the pancake question?
Oh,
Chris asked, why are oblong pancakes the superior shape?
Well, they aren't, so I apologize that you're wrong.
At least it takes the heat off of me for a while.
So would you like to talk about oblong pancakes?
If I even remembered why it was a thing.
Because there was,
It was
so
something at Gaia.
it was at Gaia Retreat Center, and Sister Hanukkah was making pancakes, and the one she gave you was shaped not to your liking.
I think I was just being stupid and tired and cunty and made an offhand comment and didn't even really know Sister Hanukkah at the time. We were just bullshitting, and then it became our inside joke, which I don't get half the time.
So there's a question from Kyle Watkins.
Sister 3.
What does it feel like being at this stage in your mission objectives? Who would like to take that?
I can take it. It feels amazing. It feels correct. We have, as a collective Priory, have worked really hard on everything, from the setting up the paperwork and doing everything. Everyone's had a very hands-on. Ups and downs that we've gone through as a group have happened, but we've all really forged ahead and we're a lot stronger. And I think at this point, I think a lot of us just feel relieved that we finally hit this level after what seems to be a year or so of very, very hard work. So I would say relieved is appropriate.
We have another one. I just learned my sister name violates Facebook's community standard, which fills me with pride. How will you challenge community standards as a sister?
I mean, I think in a way we have already been doing that. We have challenged spaces that are not fully inclusive to be better at inclusivity, for instance. And that is a continuing mission that we have.
I think we do a lot of gardening puns, and so we say that we're weeding the garden, and we're also spraying away pests. So I think we have a lot of those kind of, we really like, we could use an example of Sash Bash. I mean, we went in there to make that an inclusive space.
Right. I think it's also like we're getting more events that every once in a while where it's like completely nothing to do with us, but we're invited, so we're extremely happy to get out there. Like when we were at the comedy show, it had nothing really to do with us, but they wanted us to be there, and we're like, yeah, we want to support the community. It's a good cause. It was for a no-kill special needs animal shelter, and it was a lot of fun. And that's one thing we challenge, is we get our faces out there so people know about us and not just hide in our specific LGBTQ spaces. We make sure to get out there and challenge other areas as well.
And it's tough in Iowa.
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing, and we talked about going to the fair, and we decided not to because we didn't feel like it was necessarily safe for us to do so in face. So I think we are doing the challenging in very conscious ways, in ways that can help and not cause us harm or others.
Sister Leia Organza wants to know, what is our mission?
I think this is 5 petals. I would say.
Yeah, let's need to update that. So short answer, we've talked about kind of updating our mission and tweaking it. Sorry, I'm going to take this. And what we've talked about updating it to does not, I think, stray too far from what our current mission is. On our website, I'm just going to read off, our official mission is, we've dedicated ourselves to providing community service, promoting equality for all, and offering a ministry of those who are in need of expressing their individuality and uniqueness. It is our desire to use wisdom, humor, and frivolity to educate those attempting to promote bigotry and guilt that would deflower and destroy our community. Throughout our time as a mission house, working on our P&Ps, working on our bylaws, all that stuff, we've embodied what we call the 5-petal philosophy, and I don't know them offhand yet. I got it.
That'll go into our next question.
Okay. It's just it's a better way for us to remember what are we doing, why are we doing it, and what do we want to put out in the world.
So Sister Glamma would like to know, she sees so many varieties of cornets. What is your official house cornet, and what does it mean to your house?
Okay. So we designed our cornet, our formal cornet and guard cap as a house. I didn't want anybody of us to own that process. So we sat down and we voted on what we wanted. We will be debuting those very shortly. We're very excited. The Wilde Prairie Rose has 5 petals. And so Sister Ada, when we went to Sash Bash, came up with this 5-petal philosophy of the things that we kind of adhere to. Diversity is super important to us. Inclusion is super important. Consent is very important to us. Equality is very important to us, and so is justice. And so those 5 petals represent those 5 qualities that we kind of hold as a house, but also our cornets also reflect that. So the house cornet for our fully professed sisters, when they get to, we call it blooming, they will have a giant prairie rose set on a visor. Our guards will have the same thing, and they'll be wearing a fedora with that adorned in the front. So, yeah.
Spencer Dahl would like to know, what is every sister mission? What called each to become a sister? So I think this is
round
a
table.
two-part question and a question for everyone.
Yeah.
So for me, I can start. So for me, becoming part of the house was, I'm a very serious person in my everyday life, and I love to give back to my community. So this was a chance for me to learn how to not quite be so serious and be stupid and have fun, but still be able to give back to my community.
So for me, I grew up in the suburbs of Detroit, and there I was pretty much just, I was surrounded by gay people all the time. It was a very liberal area. There was no, I mean, of course there was shit, but there wasn't as much shit. So then we moved to Iowa and we find this group, and I kind of saw it as a way to put myself out there and experience things that I wouldn't normally experience. And of course I want to give back to the community and help the community, but also there was that aspect of, let's put myself out there, let's be seen, let's see what happens.
So my approach is a little different. I'm an academic, I'm a scholar. I'm a scholar of performance and queer performance specifically, and I've taught about the sisters. So I actually wanted to be a sister as far back as 2018, but I was a grad student, I didn't have the time, I didn't have the space for it. And I discovered this house at a protest. I discovered that the house existed at this massive protest by the Capitol, pushing back towards the anti-trans bills that our state has had a lot of, most of which have been have not succeeded. So for me, it kind of connects my academic perspective, understanding sistery and where we came from and how we've been serving the community, how sisters have been serving the community for decades, and that aspect of justice and taking care of our larger community.
Well, for me, it's a little bit different. So I am the token straight sister of the house. I have been volunteering with the LGBTQIA+ community for I don't know how many years. We put it in my bio. You can read it later. But it actually came out of frustration that I felt like I was not doing enough, that I was not reaching out and making enough changes in the volunteering that I was doing, and I wanted to do more. And I didn't know how to do more, but I knew that the sisters were present. And I sent a text, and I'm like, so can I join? Sister Rita was like, yeah, actually you can. And I'm like, okay, let's talk about that after Pride Month. And so, yeah, I'm still new here. I'm still figuring out what things will be for me, but that's what brought me here, is just that sense of wanting to do more, knowing that I'm capable of doing more, and as an ally, I want to step up and do the damn thing. So, there you go.
As Mr. Tart said, we moved here from the suburbs of Michigan, and I had seen sisters in different cities, from Chicago to the Motor City Sisters in our own home state, and I always had a fascination with it. I always knew I might want to join something like that. And so when we came here, we came here and we were all by ourselves. We don't have any friends or family here until recently. We had, Mama Tart, Kenny's mother, moved here. But we didn't have any family here, so we decided that we needed to, one way of doing that was to get fully involved with our community, and then we would meet like-minded people who also want to help the community. So joining the Priory, thanks to Ada and Helda, took us on a lovely tour of Des Moines that night when they were sistering, and introduced us to our local neighborhoods and introduced us to people, and that had such a profound effect on me that someone was there to take time to show us things and introduce us, so now I like to pay that back forward. So.
Well, I have a sordid history because I was a part of the Priory last year. I took a sabbatical of sorts and then came back just recently in March. I think to begin with, last year I wanted to become a part of something that was different in my life, something that allowed me to perform and put on makeup and all these things. So it was very superficial at first. When I decided to come back, it was about the community. It was about the joy that we bring. It was about doing the work. It was about being a part of this family of siblings that I saw when on my time off work their butts off to get the P&Ps done, to get all of these things done that were necessary to elevate. I came back because I had all the faith in being a sister and seeing these sisters do the work. And so I became a sister again because I wanted to do the work with them.
Hi. So, hi, gay. So I've always been, for several years, in like sister periphery, meaning I've seen them at different events, at different things I've traveled to, read about them a little bit, and when I saw a few folks in Des Moines who were showing up to some events, I just asked one of them, who's no longer with us, with our group, if we could sit down and talk about it. And so we went to a coffee shop and we talked for 2 hours, and I'm like, you know what, this is something that I feel like I'm ready for. And by ready for, I just meant like my journey and my community has just taken lots of different routes, and I've been involved in lots of different organizations and groups, and I wanted a group that I could be a part of something much larger than myself or any particular title or role. And that was something that I love about the sisters, but also about the Priory, is it's not about a person or a sister or a guard. It's about the greater good that we can do as a group and as part of a larger group, and that's what I wanted to be a part of.
I had ideas and I lost them. I've been to a lot of events around sisters. I think the first time I remember specifically being around sisters was at North American Bear Weekend. Probably the first year we went down. How long was it?
February of 2018.
Yeah, 2018. So it's been a minute. Met with the sisters there. I think it was the Kentucky Fried Sisters were doing kind of a meet. It was labeled as a meet and greet and get to know the sisters. And when I got there, it's like, hey, we're gonna slap on a face. I'm like, that's not what I signed up for. So I think I remember running out of the room. I'm like, maybe not. But then I came back, and one of them actually put me in face. And I think it was a guard, just the guard stripes. So it was kind of fun. But then, kind of fell off. Didn't really follow that. And then come to find out, we had our sister house here. I wanted to get involved. Typically, I'm more of a shy person, shy and awkward. Not in this group because I know them all, so I'm just insane. But out in public, I shrink away. I don't want to be the center of attention, and I kind of wanted this to break through that. Not be so shy and awkward, and that has started. I know you're working on that still. The one thing I learned more though is more of an internal learning experience for us. We went through our ups and downs. Every house has. We had our moments where we about came to fists. We wanted to punch everybody. But we learned. I learned. For me specifically, as a cis white man, I don't always think enough about the other aspects of our community. And how things affect them and the power that I have to help them. And so that is kind of where I want to refocus my, energy is, how can I do good for the other aspects of the community, the other groups that do need more vocal support from us. And so I think as sisters, we have a huge opportunity to do that, and I have a huge opportunity to do that myself.
Answers.
Good. Yeah, for me, I have a similar thing as Stu. Is I'm usually a shy person. Public speaking that isn't necessarily terrible for me, but when I'm in a bar setting, going up to people I don't know, talking, meeting new people is always a challenge. So I figured this was one way to kind of get out of my shell and be a lot more social. And yeah, it's been quite the change for me to be able to do all this, considering some weekends we'll have 2 events, and Pride will be all weekend, and it's definitely been beneficial in that regard. And I just really haven't been a part of the community a whole lot. I've kind of gone to the bars every once in a while, but never been involved in the community. know most people around here. I kind of, in my previous relationship, we were both very introverted, so we didn't really do anything that would have gotten us into a place where we are now, and I'm very glad I'm coming out of my shell, and I look forward to doing a lot more great things with these sisters.
Well, for me, mine actually starts from a point of healing. I grew up as a straight man. I have children. I was deep in the Pentecostal church, and I have healing of myself and of the LGBT community, because coming out of a Pentecostal church, we were not kind to gays in any which way or form. So finally acknowledging my true self as a gay man, I need to heal the community I bashed for 30 fucking years. I want to be a person that will go side by side if somebody's having a rough time. Speak into their lives and say, you know what, your past is your past, you can't change it. Let's move forward together, spread your wings and fly. Be true to yourself, because that's where you're gonna find joy, you're gonna find happiness, you're gonna find peace. And I didn't have that for so long because I was denying who I was. So I now want to heal our community on both sides. I want to understand as a gay man, I want to understand my sisters who I don't know as well, because I came in as, I mean, you can't get much worse than a straight man in a Pentecostal church, I'm telling you what. And there's some very strong bigots in the church, especially the one I came out of, and I haven't stepped back since I came out as a gay man, and I won't. I need to find my space amongst my people. And the sisters gave me a home when I didn't have a home. They gave me a place that, you know, we'll accept you where you came from, and we'll help you on your journey. And they let me be crazy and loud and boisterous, and it fits my personality, so here I am.
Okay, I started my journey, I suppose, trying to break into the leather community and finding them not a space for women. Then I saw one of our former sisters, some pictures on their page on Facebook, and I said, hey, what's that? That looks silly as shit. I want a car of that. And they're like, come on, you're perfect. I said, perfect. So I get to dress up and make people laugh and read kids' stories and do all sorts of funny things that I wouldn't be able to do in my regular life. Well, until I started working at the asylum. True story. And now I get to help all sorts of people. It's fun.
So you guys are all very wordy. So it's making it hard for me to word my response. But so I came out later in life. I came out January of 2020, and that was a very hard time to come out, in addition to me being 40 years old. Also, the pandemic happened. So, like, right away, okay, I'm out, and I don't know what to do with myself. Like, how, you know, I've always been an ally, but I've not been part of the community. So, the majority of what I learned was on TikTok. It is what it is. But I'd actually... Lindsay's my wife, so I followed her to a sister story time, and I was like, what is this? What, like, this is amazing. All of these people are really neat, and I want to hear more about this. And then, you know, on top of it, I was like, wait a minute, they dress like this, and they act goofy, and then they do positive things for the community. Sign me up. That's pretty much how that went, so.
Sister Kim would like to know, what would you say your biggest success and your biggest challenge you feel you could still grow in?
I wanted to answer Nick, though. Yes, you need to come back and growl at people.
Bite if you like.
So our
I'll let
biggest,
you ask first.
biggest thing, huh?
So the biggest success that I can think of is learning how to overcome the internal squabbles that we have. like, we're a family. Families have squabbles. We're not always going to agree on every single thing. And it's learning how to disagree and move on and still be successful and still be respectful. The other portion was, what is the biggest challenge you feel you can still grow in?
I think to add to, I think one of the greatest things, at least in my perspective, and I know a lot of us might share it too, was there was a trans youth that was living on the streets, and I don't feel like that human being was ever given any kind of kindness when they were out there until we kind of stepped in and raised money and got them off the streets, and now they are, I think, definitely are thriving.
Yep.
They moved to Minnesota, and I think, which is probably a much better place for someone to be.
Yes.
But we helped that travel and that path, and so that means something really to me. That was like a really early success, and also challenging our community on things. Like working with leather and like that to bring more spaces for women and non-binary people has been huge for us, and I think we keep challenging our own community. We definitely do it positively, and we do it with good intention. So I think we're making headway on that, but we're definitely pushing. So a lot of those successes to me have been very important. And then we had challenges too.
What do you feel is your biggest challenge you should still grow? And grow as in parentheses.
I think we've done a decent job lately, but I think it's a very good opportunity for us is to expand our influence to not our immediate community. We are very comfortable going to our queer spaces, our queer bars, with our community, interacting with them. Excuse me. And very recently we did a story time up in the northern side of Des Moines, and it's a LGBT friendly environment, a friendly neighborhood, but not 100%. The best part of that day was walking around the random stores. We went to a thrift shop, we went to a little both goods store, we went to we just hit these random stores, and the second we walked in, their eyes just all lit up, and they had so much fun, and we had so much fun. And I think it's a huge opportunity for us to engage the rest of our community in the metro area. Like, hey, we're around, this is what we do, here's how we can help you, here's how you can help us. And then I'm just going to stop there.
I think one of the other things that I am immediately comes to mind on how we can continue to learn. I think we weathered a storm with folks feeling internally, right? We had made decisions and said things and shut some people out. Whether that was intentional or unintentional, it happened, and feelings are valid. And I think as a group, it is our duty that we have to continue to make sure that everyone has a voice, and we can't ever forget that. And we can learn ways to do that, because we're all different people, and we all make our needs known in different ways. But it's incredibly important that we understand that other folks may not make their needs known the same way we do, and that's okay. And no one voice is any louder than any other. That's super important for us to continue to internalize and learn if we're going to be successful.
Sister Glamma, how important are shared SPI traditions and rituals?
This is a really tough question, because they are important, and also at the same time we find that some things, some traditions and rituals aren't fully inclusive in the ways that we want. I know we're not the only house who feels that way. So building our P&P, this was a sticking point where we were going back and forth over and over again to decide how are we approaching different aspects, especially when it comes to postulants and novices, and breaking down what a person can do at what point. There were strong voices in the group saying, Felony, I think, said, I'm not going to ever, paraphrasing, I'm not going to ever tell a queer person how they can and cannot present themselves. And that's something that we really resonated with all of us. And at the same time, we will also want to honor the tradition and the ritual. And so finding a way to do both has taken up hours, literally hours of dialogue.
From time to time.
From time to
time.
Novice Sister Benedetta, queer advocacy is only effective if it continues to change and adapt. Is there something in the SPI that you feel needs to grow and adapt?
I think as part of the society in general, I think there are still few spaces that women are included, and I think that's one space that we could really help the community in general.
And I think Sister Dia hit it on the head. It's like, you know, we need to look at these traditions and rituals and, like, you know, what's the good parts of it, what's the not so good parts of it, how do we mix those up and move forward and still respecting those traditions, but not being twats about it.
Here's a question for Sue. How important are the shape of those pancakes to your personal enjoyment?
It's not the shape of the pancake, it's the motion of the pan. But long and girthy never hurts.
Oblong.
Sister Kim wants to know, is a hot dog a sandwich? Absolutely.
A hot dog is a taco.
Hot dog. A hot dog is a dumpling.
A hot dog is a piece of cylindrical meat. It depends on what you do with the hot dog that determines its further identity.
I just put it in. Just swallow it.
With relish.
Makes me want a hot dog real bad.
I mean, you have relish. Chicago style.
Can I go get a hot dog?
Yeah.
Question for Sister Anita. Did you lose some of your chickens off your cornet?
We don't talk about the chickening.
Turn it down.
Question, how is your house engaging with and including trans folks in your community? I think it's already kind of been brought up once already. We had a trans youth that was housing challenged, and we were able to step in as a house and as side members of the house and help them.
We also dedicated our bingo funds to a couple different organizations, and one of them was the Trans Mutual Aid Fund and One Iowa. Is that right?
Yeah.
One Iowa, yeah.
And I believe it's
Which-
October is TransUnion as well.
I believe so, yeah.
I am one of two non-binary trans members, and the level at which I would be accepted was, that's true, great. The level at which I would be accepted was a question for me coming in. I have to say I have felt accepted. I have felt like the question around pronouns and is she or they, I mean, everything has always been handled respectfully. I didn't know if that would be the case, and I'm happy to say it has been for me.
I joined the Priory because I'm also non-binary, and when we moved here, I physically present kind of bare, so people are like, oh, you joined the Bears, and so I have not had the best time in bear spaces, to be honest with you. Most of them, you're either too pretty, you're not fat enough, you have all these things that get thrown against you that I've heard over the course of my life. And so I found it kind of toxic. So coming to Des Moines and meeting the bear group here, I don't feel that as much. I feel like they're a lot more inclusive. but I do see potential for work there. But I feel like I'm definitely represented here, and that I can I feel comfortable here. So it's been very nice.
I apologize, Disney interrupted me.
Yeah, I was like, I heard, I heard, and I was like, what was that?
Briefly touched the watch face that sets Mickey off.
One thing I'd like to add real quick to that, I think we've done a good job. It's kind of more of an internal thing. But when we were doing P&Ps, most of the titles of the SBI are mistress, master, very gendered. One of our 5-hour conversations was, how do we make that more inclusive? And, we landed on, we agreed that we don't want to be gendered. So everything that we have is keeper of coffers, keeper of revelry, so that it's in and of themselves they're just completely non-gendered. We allow whoever's in those roles to say, here's what I'm like. I'm the mistress of the web just because I love that term. It's just funny. It makes me feel like Elvira. We have our keepers of revelry. They can be mistress, master, whatever they want it to be, or just keeper, and we're completely fine with that.
Yeah. And we also use the term sibling rather than sister,
right.
sacred sibling.
There's a comment on here that goes along with the answer to this question. Josh Robinson had stated, I do not have a question, however, I do have a word of thanks. I was working at a remote store in Urbandale and had a young trans man share with me a story of this group of sisters holding space for him and making him feel safe and loved at an event that would be less than welcoming to him. The story brought tears to my eyes, and I wanted to say thank you so much for living up to what sistering should be and showing how much love people deserve. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Josh.
Sister Ken says, so Sue's villain original story is the Kentucky Fried Sisters fault. Absolutely.
Of course.
Yeah.
Isn't everything the KFS's fault? I mean, we love them.
So, Sister Glamma, regarding the upcoming vote, there seems to be a lot of fear and confusion in our LGBTQ++ community. How do you help this situation?
I think number one is visibility. I think, being visible not only just in our queer spaces, but in our non-queer spaces is something that we're challenging ourselves to do. I think that's number one. When we're invisible, that's when people fear. And so we need to make sure that we're putting ourselves out there.
Something I've said a lot this year is you can't make change from the outside. So putting yourself in those situations, and whether it's a popular opinion or an unpopular opinion, you have to be willing to dive in and have those hard conversations. I know personally I've had several. Sorry, sister.
I was going to say, so this is not my original thought. I don't remember what sister I heard say this, but I heard a sister say something along the lines of, I look as weird as I do so that you're not the one who feels weird. And I think that we queer spaces by existing in them in a way that creates space for people who are anxious. I also am an educator, as several of us are, and I had Sister Clara come speak to one of my classes in this winter, and my students were so moved, not just by sharing history, sistery, but Clara's own history as a queer couple raising kids in rural Iowa in the 80s, right? Knowing that has happened, knowing that even though laws are coming in and overall attitudes are building in homophobia, there have been other homophobic times and we have found resilience. And so that actually goes into part of, I think, what is exciting to us about working with potentially the Trans Youth Resource Center for an upcoming event in December, which I guess we shouldn't announce yet because it's not ready for that. But we are intending to work more in community with queer youth in the near future.
Also, Glamma, I just have to say, so sometimes, as everyone in here knows, I'm a little bit dense. And so, at first I'm like, well, the upcoming UNPC vote, don't they know who we are? We've kind of been talking about this for like 2 years. So, I went in a much deeper way than I thought. I'm like, well, I mean, we know every month. We've been doing what we're supposed to.
Oh,
Pretty.
I'm glad I wasn't alone, Julie.
I absolutely was not on the election
Yeah, neither was
whatsoever.
I. I lost a dick. Chicken down.
That's how
That was not even a planned wardrobe malfunction.
So there's a comment from Jim Johnson. I'm very happy hearing what you are doing in the Des Moines community. I grew up in a small town in Iowa and wish more of our organizations were available back then.
I think that's another one of our challenges too, is that we're kind of living in the desert of queerness, and so
Are we
it's
though?
well
yeah.
publicly, let's say.
Okay.
Yeah, publicly, let's say. And so it, like, that's kind of a big weight for us to be the leaders for all of that.
Right. I mean, it's one of these things where, like, the example of the trans youth. Now that she's moved to Minnesota, she has so many resources that she did not have here. I'm sorry.
It's all Anita's fault. She keeps distracting everybody with this bratwurst.
We get banned from Facebook and now we're all
Right.
Okay, can we not play hide the bratwurst right now?
That's my favorite game.
We know.
I was paying.
So as I was saying, there aren't many resources here. There are a lot of organizations. I think Sir Lamy built a list of organizations we've never heard of a couple months back, and it's like, oh, there's all these people to reach out to, and so I think there's a siloing. That's one of the challenges. But even with those organizations, there aren't a lot of resources, and so our job. I mean, no shade to big cities. I'm a city kid, but our job here is unique compared to the bigger cities, spaces where there is less homophobia and more resources.
What has been your favorite part of creating a group from the ground up, and why is writing P&Ps?
Not
Why
it.
is it? Because we love arguing.
I think my favorite part of us starting here is just like the response that we get from people. It was a very defining moment when we were in our first Des Moines Pride Parade, and the crowd went wild, and it was just this crazy feeling of just getting supported by the entire community at once, and everybody wants to see you and know what you're all about. So, being able to introduce that back to Iowa is pretty cool.
How many different P&Ps does your house have?
17.
1 million.
Just one.
Yeah.
One.
Just one.
Hell, that one damn near killed us.
You don't need more than one.
We don't have the capacity to make sure we follow every section of that one well enough to have anything more than that.
What part of y'all's ministry is most needed within your community? Love from the City of Fountains.
I think advocacy for trans and women in our community is, paramount right now. I think that's huge.
And I'd say the underrepresented groups in general, but
Yep.
specifically, women and trans people.
Yeah.
Kids.
Kids,
In this
For
state,
sure.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Especially.
How do y'all plan on attracting more racial diversity?
This is a challenge.
It's a challenge in Iowa.
Yeah.
Like realistically, it is.
Yeah.
I've had the same question come up with other groups, and
Yeah.
just realistically to make up of Iowa.
Yeah.
I think it's just being present, being
Yeah.
there, having those conversations, and telling people who we are, what we do, and asking them if that's something that they're interested in joining and being a part of.
In Iowa, that's kind of how you have to do things.
Yeah.
You just keep showing up, and eventually you accidentally run into somebody, and they know somebody, and then that looks fun, and you have to be, if you're a beacon of positivity and you're fun, people will come to you, and eventually we'll catch everyone. We're like Pokemon.
I think
Bring
we
some
really
ultra
need to make
balls.
sure that we are a welcoming space before a person of color joins us. I think we need to make sure of that, and that's definitely a larger project, but I definitely think that we have caught ourselves and each other when we have erred in insensitivity, and we need to continue doing so, continue to educate ourselves and make sure that we are as inclusive of people of color as possible.
And I challenge it a little bit too, because not everyone wants to be a sister or wants to be part of it. So someone of color, I think, needs to also consider, is that something that they want to do? I mean, all of us here have to make a decision, like, I'm going to put myself out front of everybody, dress in a certain way, and be kind of almost a target for things, which is nice. It might be harder for someone of color who comes from a background of already having that on them to have to do another layer on top of that. Could be difficult, but I would reassure them that they have a family here that would be backing them and kicking ass if we have to. So
I think probably for me the most important thing is, as a group of folks who are not people of color, generally speaking, it's a real slippery slope for us to try to decide what is going to bring potentially folks who are people of color into our fold. That's not our lived experience, and it will never ever be. So the only way to actually understand that is to do the work to figure it out, instead of us trying to decide what we think should be right for another group. That's a super, 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 super terrible thing to do. And I think that's where good intentions and poor execution actually creates much, much worse experiences for folks.
Before we move on, just time check. We got about 7 minutes left in our official allotted time. I'm sure we'll go over a little bit, but 7-minute warning, people.
What is it that you think makes you a part of the overall SPI, and what makes you different? There's multiple questions in one question, so I'm going to read those two first, and then we'll come back to the rest of the question. Oh,
Our banner's down!
Banner's down.
there she goes.
Banner down!
Sister on her knees.
While you're down there.
so I'll read that question again. What is it that you think makes you a part of the overall SPI, and what makes you different?
I think it's because we do the work. We all do the work that is required of sisters. The work that goes out into the community, the work that goes out into several communities. It's just the work, and we do that every time we manifest or get manifested. We do that work, and I think that in and of itself means we belong. We belong in a group that does the work because we do the work. It might not be the same as this city and this city and this city, but we do the work here in Des Moines and in Iowa.
And I think one of the things that makes us different, for me, we're probably never going to have a 3-day street fair in Des Moines like perhaps the sisters in San Francisco can do. We don't have that depth and breadth of membership right now. Not saying that that's not something that we might get to, but we tend to approach things as a group. We vote on things, and we understand that not everybody can be at everything, and we don't have to have a 3-day street festival to make our presence known.
Why do you think the group needs a Priory of the Wilde Rose, and what makes you all unique? I think what makes us all unique is we all bring a different life story, we all bring a different perspective, a different background.
Yeah.
Why does the SPI need the Priory of the Wilde Rose? Look at any legislative agenda in the state of Iowa anytime.
I was like, what does?
And you will see that
We're needed.
queer people are under attack,
Yes.
and queer children are really under attack,
And families.
Yes.
Families.
and we've got to fight the good fight.
Also, on a less serious note, it's nice. It feels nice to bring the sisters back to Iowa.
Yeah.
Really to have a dedicated house where it all started.
It's our honor.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's what we get to do, and I think that's really, really cool.
Saga Romeg. It was my original house's work with the LGBTQ youth that lent me the courage and introspection for my own transition. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Proud of you for living your authentic self.
There's another thank you for all the hard work and representation. We have to fight for our lives and the lives of those we love this year. We're fighting like hell here in DC too. Looking forward to having y'all visit for World Pride next year. Love you all, Sister Kieran. We got blessings and love from Chevonborg, Wales, UK.
Ooh, let's go there.
Can we go there?
Yes.
Yes.
Puppy who would like to know what is the best treats for pets/puppies.
The ones that we have here,
Peanut
so you
butter.
should come here.
Riches.
Brown paper bags and Sharpie pens. That's for one pup in particular.
Which sister would you say has helped or impacted your journey?
Oh, that's loaded.
Sister Clara.
Sister Clara.
Yeah.
Has shown me most of the finer things that's required of a human being and a sister to effectively help others, I guess, and be as aesthetically pleasing as possible. It never hurts when you're breaking.
I would say Ada's.
Ada's,
And for
yeah.
us, she's
Ada.
done a lot for our group. Obviously, bringing that wisdom of the sisterhood into our organization, and we miss her a lot. So.
We miss her a lot.
Yeah.
I also think, for me personally, it's not one particular sister. However, the numerous sisters who visited us from other convents, houses, during Pride, just hearing some of the stories of what they did, how they did it, what the history was. I haven't been to a lot of greater sister events outside of what we do here. And so hearing that was like, it kind of reinvigorated me. And this is gonna sound corny, but like the other people in this room and Ada and Majora, like I've learned a lot from each of the people in this room, some of whom I had never met before the Priory. And like, I just try to think how I can respect each of those folks as well.
Jim says, just remember the field of dreams. If you build it, they will come.
And come.
And come.
And come.
Lots of come.
And come.
Bless you for all your work, or for all your current and continuing hard work. Us City of Fountain sisters know your hearts and dedication from our interactions. See you at Iowa Leather Weekend, Sister Glamorama Ding Dong.
Bing, bing, bing.
Puppy Who, as a former member of the Priory and a current member of a house, I'd like to say one thing that makes the Priory unique is the fact that you put different expression of sistering in your P&Ps. Example, a path for pets. Sister Rhoda Mustache. I just want to say how proud I am of you, of all of you. My question for you is, what work will you do for sober LGBTQIA+?
So I'm not like taking this, but like I'm taking this. So I'm in recovery. I've been in recovery for a long time. Doesn't mean I've been sober for the entire time I've been in recovery. Because my path led me to a relapse several years ago. But we, as a house, I can assure you, that damn banner. Even though we hold court, right? So we hold events in places that may serve alcohol, etc. It has never, ever been pushed, required, demanded. Nobody's ever pushed well, why don't you drink? I've never been asked, why don't you drink? Some of the people sitting around this table probably know, Zach. But it's we also, and I'm gonna give credit where credit's due, right? Our co-moms pointed out to us that a lot of our events were held at 2 or 3 of the local gay bars. And so since that time, that was a learning moment for us as a house, right? And so we've made a very, very, very concentrated effort to do things outside of that space. Again, when we say that we're welcoming to folks, it's not just about gender expression, identity expression. It's also about, you know what, if you want to go and you want to get schlossed on a Friday night, cool. If you want to not, that's super cool too. And we're going to be here for you.
And we've got several local businesses. One of our biggest longtime supporters is the Slow Down Coffee Company here in Des Moines. We've done events there. They want to do more events. We want to do more events with them. So yeah, we are definitely looking at branching out and interacting with every facet of our community.
The Q Exchange.
Q Exchange. The Little Book. Yeah. Wait, Sherman.
So we have a few more questions. I'm going to say we'll finish those. We'll answer those, but we're not going to accept any more questions. Since, as nice as I can say it. We're over our time. We love you all, but we know it's Sunday. You want your afternoon back, so do we. So yeah, we'll finish up the few questions we have, and then we will mosey.
Molly Alice Minks wants to know, never forgetting to have fun. What queer movie speaks to your house journey?
Did you? I was gonna say.
Well then.
You better go.
For a person who was in the closet forever, I've seen a lot of different queer movies, but I had never seen Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. So our lovely co-prioress had a movie night literally 2 days ago, and we watched Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. And by God, does that not fit this house?
Messy.
Oh God.
The most important thing, and that's that we won.
But the funny thing is, not seeing that movie, how did I come up with the shoe idea and I didn't know about it?
So just to clarify, for our Pride this year, we had a float where Sister Ada sat in a shoe with gauzy fabric. It was modeled after Priscilla. It was envisioned by Sister Lamiana, who had not yet seen Priscilla.
I didn't know anything about the shoe.
And we won the Pride Parade.
Yes.
Yay!
And we
And
won.
we're challenging for next year.
We are challenging.
We're going to challenge our community to push on their floats too and challenge us to take our award.
Step it up.
Yep, step it
Step it
up.
up.
Yep.
Get creative.
Get
Stepping
creative.
it up.
Yep.
Sue, how long do we have this room?
We should have until 4.
Okay.
Did someone just pop in?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a small group of wee little ones.
Oh, it's fine.
Oh, Head Start's the next room.
Oh, there it is.
Shisho Panda, y'all are amazing. Thank you for fighting the good fight at one of the many ground zeros in the country right now. May Kuan Yin grant you with forever compassion, grace, kindness, and open your third eyes. Blessings from Sister Shisho Panda of the Portland Sisters. Where's Sister Unity when you mention your queer film?
We did a blessing beforehand. We saged the room, saged the Facebook. Not just kidding. Love you, Unity. Please vote for us.
That's all of the questions.
So yeah, that's our time. We went over as we always do.
We started late as we always do.
No, we started on
I
time.
was saying, we were on time.
We
were on
went
time.
for those stragglers.
Right.
Yeah.
So to everybody that's still here that joined us, thank you so much.
Yay, thank you.
So, if you don't know why you're here, we are the Priory of the Wilde Rose Sisters, based out of Des Moines, Iowa. We are going up for elevation to fully professed house next Monday night. Check out our website, PotWRsisters.org. We're on Facebook, Instagram. We have the UNPC page. It gives you a condensed list of everything we've done. If you have any questions for us, reach out. We love to chat. We love to meet new people. On that note, we love you. It's time to get our Sunday back.
Yay!
Bye.
Bye.